Level and grid heads in your Revit projects can be found underneath the Architecture tab, Grid, and Levels. Now, each of these are very similar kinds of objects, both in the way that you draw them as well as the way that you modify them and the way that they display inside of your Revit projects or your Revit templates. To get to the location where you can modify them inside of the Revit project or templates, you need to go underneath the project browser, expand out the families category, expand out annotation symbols, and then come down here on the list, and we're going to be looking for either level or grid. And in this case, we can see that there's level head. There's two of them here. Another spot is going to be the grid head. And here we have two different ones here as well. For this example, I'm just going to pick on level head, right click, and then select on the edit button. From here, we can see the way the level is going to display. If we wanted to change the way this looks, we could just use our different drawing tools to redraw this end. Each of these is its own individual, what's called a label, which is automatically updating information. If we wanted to make modifications to any of these labels, we could just select on them, go into Properties, and then either change such things as the text height from here, or go into the Edit Type, and then change the properties associated with that annotation here through the Type Properties dialog box. Also, if we needed to change the label information itself, we could do that as well by coming here where it has label and selecting on the edit button, and then either selecting on name or elevation, and then associating the right piece of information to that individual label. Now I'm going to select on the OK button to get out of this dialog box. If we wanted to load this back into the project environment, we could just come back in here and select on Load in the project, which would also load it into the template. And when we did, it's going to override that particular information inside of the project environment. The same thing will happen, not just with the levels, but it'll happen as well with your grids or your structural grids. It's the exact same process. Find underneath the project browser, families, annotation symbols, and look for the word that's grid. And in this case, it's going to be a grid head. Select on it, right click, edit, and change the information the same way. One last thing to know, and in order to see this, I'm going to go to a spot where a level is actually already placed, and that's going to be in the south elevation. If I select on one of these existing ones and then go to Properties right here, we can see that it says level 1/4 inch. And if I click on Edit Type to this, we have line pattern. That's what gives this dash line going across. And then there's symbol. And symbol, that's the Revit family that we went into in order to theoretically make a modification to it, such as change what this icon would look like or change what this text would look like here with the individual levels.